This inductee is praised and admired for her expansive knowledge of pharmacotherapeutics. She's championed rigorous studies of drug safety and effectiveness to improve prescribing practice. Dr. Jean Gray.
My father was posted frequently and often, so I lived all across Canada in the United States. In 1955, he was found to have what was known then as a peptic ulcer, and he had surgery, and although the surgeon didn't tell him, he actually had cancer of the stomach. I decided that there had to be a better way of conveying bad news to patients than the one that this surgeon had used, and the only way to do that was to go into medicine myself. My mother said, "Oh no, you should be a nurse." And all my teachers said, "Oh, you couldn't possibly be a doctor." And that just made my resolve stronger. My entire time in medical school, I worked in the lab of another chemist who was transitioning into becoming a pharmacologist, and I loved that work. So after I finished the internship, my husband and I got married, and we went to Stanford and both did research postdoctoral fellowships there. And then he got a job at Dalhousie, and I finished my residency training here.
She was very important in making the link between clinical pharmacology and medicine, and really demonstrating the value of translational research.
But I became very concerned that physicians and other individuals who had responsibility for patient care were making decisions about prescribing based on either drug advertising or less than satisfactory information.
She worked hand in hand with members of our Department of Pharmacology at Dalhousie, and was a great clinician, a great detective, a great researcher, and a very strong leader in this field.
We created a newsletter called Drugs and Therapeutics for Maritime Practitioners, which we produced 6 times a year, which basically was an evidence-based, very easy to read piece of information. And we did that for 25 years.
I can remember many journal clubs at Jean's house where she would work with students and tease apart some of the complexities around clinical therapeutics, and really helped make us better people and better physicians as a result.
I got invited to sit on the editorial panel of a national book, which was known then as the CPS, or Compendium of Pharmaceutical Sciences, which was published by the Canadian Pharmacists Association. I suggested to CPHA that they needed to make a companion volume, and that evolved into a book called Therapeutic Choices.
Went through 5 editions with her as the editor, and nowadays continues on as an electronic textbook, a guide for pharmacists and primary care physicians who need to make choices among drugs every day.
They can just open up the book on the desktop and get everything they need in about 30 seconds in order to write the prescription. The Health Council of Canada recommended that it be in every physician's office in the country.
Well, Jean has been a tremendous advocate for the wise use of medications in clinical practice. And she's done this through education involving medical students, residents, and physicians in community practice.
She implemented the academic detailing program for physicians, which is going on now and is still looked at around the world as an exemplary program.
When the Canadian Institutes for Health Research was set up, one of the institutes that was created was the Institute of Gender and Health. And I was approached to chair the Institute Advisory Board. And that was an amazing experience.
She has chaired, countless local, provincial, national, and international committees.
I've had the opportunity to be president of a large American organization, multiple Canadian organizations.
We all aspired to be the clinician that Jean Gray was. She was a wonderful role model and mentor. Everybody wanted to be Jean Gray.
I've been blessed both with my family, 2 wonderful daughters, and also with my professional career.
Canadian Medical Hall of Fame laureate, Dr. Jean Gray.
So those who've heard me speak at Discovery Days for high school students who are considering a career in health sciences know that I always emphasize the importance of saying thank you to the people who've allowed you to be there or be wherever you are. And so I'd like to start by thanking my husband, Michael, who has provided love, support, and massive encouragement over the years, sometimes helping me to overcome my own frustrations and anxieties. I want to thank the two girls, Jennifer and Megan, because they have provided us with brilliant experiences and skills and a lot of caring, which has been very important. I want to thank our two sons-in-law, Jeff and Omar, who provide balance for the girls and humor for all of us. And I want to thank Isla and Callum, the two grandchildren, who are the best ever, and I'm not at all biased. I want to thank the Canadian Medical Association, who submitted this initial nomination. I had inside information as to where the nomination had come from. And I want to thank Dr. Stuart McLeod and Dr. Carol Herbert, who wrote the secondary letters. I want to say thank you to all the colleagues I've worked with over the years in medicine and in pharmacology and in medical education. They've taught me so much, and more importantly, they've covered for me when I was in airplanes and zipping around all over the place. I want to thank Dr. Jock Murray, who I think had the concept of inclusivity and equity long before those became important words in our lexicon, because he appointed me as the first female associate dean in the country, and I really appreciated that. Finally, I want to thank friends who've stood behind me for years and years and years. And in particular, I'd like to single out Dr. Joanne Jenkins Douglas Sullivan, who the people at CMHF know. Joanne has been a steadfast friend for almost 70 years, and I really appreciate that. To the CMHF staff, thank you so much for making my job pleasant, for making this award possible. You've had to deal with all kinds of adversity over the last several years, and I'm well aware of that. So to have pulled this off, I think, is really quite exceptional. To all, big thank you.